What up? You saw the thumbnail, you clicked the video because you're looking to buy your first bass, you don't know where to start, and you don't want to get stuck in paralysis by analysis. I'm going to help you out today by showing you 3 key areas that I think you need to think about when buying your very first bass guitar. Area number 1 is let the genre be your guide. What are you listening to? What do you like? There is some style of music that brought you to the bass guitar. You're like, I want to do that, okay? And if you're listening to music more classic, anything from the 50s up to the 2000s, chances are very, very high that those recordings were done on a precision style bass, a jazz style bass, or a Music Man style bass. Those are 3 broad categories of bass guitars, and a lot of different companies make those bass guitars. These are reliable, tried and true staples of American music. Now, if you're into gospel, fusion, or, some more modern R&B, there's 5-string basses that could be considered. I will tell you that I think for your first bass, it should probably be a 4-string. My thoughts on this have changed over the years. I used to think it didn't matter, but there are some muting considerations on a 5-string bass that could be frustrating for beginners. So I think that you should start on a 4-string. Again, a precision style bass, a jazz style bass, or a Music Man style bass, depending on what genre of music you like. When I was coming up, that guy looks cool playing that bass guitar looks cool. I remember bringing my mom to a music store here in New Orleans. If you're familiar with the New Orleans area, Juan's Flying Burrito on Carrollton and Canal used to be a music store back in the 80s. And I remember going in there with my mom and I said, I want that bass. Solely based on the looks. I didn't know what I didn't know. And we're going to talk about aesthetics in just a moment. Spend a little bit more and regret less. Here's the thing. You might go find a bass guitar at the pawn shop that's like $150. Man, that thing is probably not going to be set up very well. It is not going to play very well. You're not going to want to spend any time with it, and you're going to quit. All right. So spend a little bit of money. I say I would not go anything less than $500. And $500 is really kind of pushing it. But I'm going to say $500, $1,200, $1,300, somewhere around there. Why? You're making an investment, right? The more money you spend, the saying, good tattoos aren't cheap and cheap tattoos aren't good. Same thing with bass guitars. The more money you spend, the build quality is going to tend to be a little bit better. You're going to want to spend more time with that instrument. Listen, it's a broad scope, and I could sit here and talk about, string spacing and all that. Listen, I'm not a guy who likes to know. I don't need to know how the sausage is made. I'm just saying. And if I run all those things down to you, they're not going to really mean anything to you. And you're going to get caught up in that, more caught up in that than you do in actually playing. A lot of people spend too much time tinkering and less time playing. So if you spend a little bit of money, you're going to have a better time. You're going to regret that less. And if you decide, hey, I don't really think this is for me, and you want to resell it, chances are the resale value of that instrument is going to be higher. So good tattoos aren't cheap. Cheap tattoos aren't good. Same thing for basses. Now, this last thing, I alluded to it a little bit before, but and call me shallow if you want. You can leave those comments down below. I think aesthetics is super important. I think it's very important, actually. Listen, I've never dated a person or been attracted to a person because of their personality. Again, you feel free to call me shallow if you want to, but I never looked at a woman from across the room and say, oh my gosh, her personality is just amazing. No, there was some sort of attraction. Now, yes, we've all been there. Some of these relationships, most of them, you find out that all that glitters isn't gold. And I know that they say the same thing about me too, so it's all good. But it's that attraction first. You want to spend time with that person. You want to spend time with that instrument. How do I feel with this instrument in my hand? How do I feel when I look in the mirror playing this instrument? Man, that might sound corny, but it's kind of true. I think it's true. I just thinking about my first instruments, man. But when you get it, then you'll start finding out the things that you like and you don't like. Just like relationships, it's the same thing. You're building a relationship with the instrument. So, neck width, nut size, keep it clean, people. Tone woods, all that stuff. I mean, the tone woods, you can get into that a little bit, like alder and rosewood. That combination with alder on the body, rosewood on the neck is going to have sort of a warmer sound. Ash body, maple neck is going to have a brighter sound. You see what I'm saying? So there's who do you like? Goes right back again. Who do you like? Who do you want to sound like? Start there. I would start there. What is attracting you to the instrument? And that includes the aesthetics of the instrument as well. Then start thinking about your budget. If you have to save up a little bit, save up a little bit. If you want to go to modern vintage and grab a bass, get your $200 off. You can use the Afterpay option and play now, pay later. So here are my quick final thoughts, man. I think that you should start on a 4-string, either a P, J, or a Music Man style bass. You can kind of veer off a little bit and get into some of the other stuff, but those would be the 3 main categories, right? 4-string. The next thing is spend smart, all right? Think about this as a long-term investment, long-term enjoyment, and resale value. Even if you get a bass that you really, really like and you want to flip it for something else, you might want to flip it, sell it, and get something else. So think about the investment of it. Aesthetics are important. Pick a bass that you're going to want to pick up every day, that you want to be around every day. You dig? Something that you're attracted to, just like your choice of partner. Leave the comments down below. It's all good. Listen, it is not just a purchase. It is the beginning of a relationship. You can have basses and just kind of have them hanging on the wall. Listen, those basses that I have on the wall, they're like wrenches. They're tools. I've used them for years and years. I don't have one of them that just hangs on the wall that I don't ever play. And I've had a relationship with each one of those instruments. So, and that's what I think that you ought to think about as well. Listen, there are links below this video. If you use any of my links, I will get a small commission, no extra cost to you. And it just kind of keeps this channel afloat, keeps the lights on, keeps a little bit of food in my belly. So I appreciate you watching. If you have any other questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Listen, I'm not the final say on this. I'm just a guy that's been playing the bass for a long time. I've bought a lot of basses, sold a lot of basses, played a lot of basses, and these have been my guides over the years. So don't get caught up in how the sausage is made. Use these tips. Let me know in the comments if you've bought a bass and you decided to get one. Let me know in the comments what you got. Listen, I appreciate you sticking around. Go on and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Up there is a video that YouTube thinks you might like, and down there is a playlist that I think you ought to check out. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.